going on, guys? Hope y'all are doing well today. So I'm on here because I just wanted to briefly talk about why you should build something for yourself, especially in today's age where there's just a lot of uncertainty. There's a lot of things that are constantly happening, constantly shifting, and things look unpredictable for a lot of people. You see it all around you, right? You keep hearing the news about all these mass layoffs that are taking place across various industries from anywhere from automotive to technology, healthcare, distribution centers, just thousands of people getting laid off. And it doesn't seem like it's slowing down, which is why you should really look after yourself. You should prepare accordingly. And that's what I'm trying to do myself. That's what I've been working on for a while. I have the next 7 days off from my full time job, and I don't plan on just relaxing. I don't plan on just kicking back. This is my time to really shift my focus and to start working on my side business and working on what I've been trying to do for a little while now. I feel like I'm getting closer um, to where I want to be. Basically, what I've been doing is I've been starting an online business because I see that it's one of the it's one of the unlocks to life. People are starting to realize that the online world is so vast, there's so much opportunity, and it's the way to go. What I'm saying is that you should start to build something for yourself, and there's many different avenues, there's many different opportunities. And I'm saying that because the last thing that we need to do, or the last thing that you want to do, is just sit back with your arms crossed, waiting for something to change, while all these things are happening, all these constant shifts, people getting laid off, work slowing down. I think it's a very dangerous thing to do, right? And you think about it, most jobs are at will jobs, at least in the United States. I don't know how the rest of the world is, but here in the US, most jobs are at will jobs, which means that your employer can fire you for whatever reason, as long as it's not illegal. They can fire you whenever for whatever. And luckily, I haven't experienced that firsthand. Most of the jobs that I've worked at, I've lasted for a while. So I've never gotten laid off. I've never gotten fired. But that possibility is still there, right? That's still in the back of my mind. And that doesn't sit right with me. And it shouldn't sit right with you either. When you build something for yourself, that's something that no one, not even your employer, can take away from you. You might not know where to start. You might not know what you should do. Um, you might be overwhelmed with just all the information out there, but the best thing that you can do, in my opinion, is to start trying things out and stick with one thing, right? But I think you need to choose something that seems viable, that seems like something that you could be good at, and stick with that one thing and practice every single day. But more than that, apply it in the real world. And that's what I've been trying to do, right? There's real people out there with real problems, people that have families, people that are trying to pay bills, people that are trying to grow their business. And I think that if you can help solve their problems, right, if you can learn specific skills to help them out, then you can get very far. Take some time to really think about your strengths, think about what you can leverage, people that maybe past experiences, your soft skills, natural abilities, things like that. Just maybe write some of this stuff down and start brainstorming, right? Start stimulating your mind a little bit and thinking outside the box and saying, okay, what can I build to help people, or what problems can I solve, right? That's where I started. I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do or how to do it, but I realized people need help growing their business online. They need help getting more online visibility. Now, I know that's a very broad topic in itself, right? There's different avenues that you can approach when it comes to that. Um, but that's where I started, right? So I started learning about funnels and web design and SEO, right? I started learning about paid ads. I started learning about all this stuff. But my problem is that I was too busy learning. I was too busy learning, taking courses, And I did do some of my own projects, and I did a little bit of work for some people. I even did an apprenticeship for about 3 months, which was great, right? I gained some experience with that, but I wasn't implementing everything that I knew. I wasn't out there just putting myself out there and offering my help and my services to people. So I had to shift my mindset of, from just consuming and learning to actually putting it into practice more. I went to a networking event last week, and it wasn't that many people. It wasn't a traditional networking event where you sit there and you have this like elevator pitch memorized or anything like that. It was more casual, more laid back. You just go in there and you just meet people, and it was a lot. It was a very low pressure environment, which was something that worked out perfectly for me. And I went and I got about 3 leads. Right, I had people that I talked to about my services, about what I do. Um, but more than that, I talked about how I can help them solve their problems. Right, I wasn't there just trying to sell something, um, because I don't want to be thought of being in the business of selling, but of serving. Right, I want to help people. And I had those genuine conversations with the people out there, and I think they really felt that. I think they knew that I was coming out of a place of honesty, uh, out of a place of just a willingness to help them. And I know that the more that I practice and the more experience that I gain, I'll be able to polish my solution over time and get a little bit more specific with it. But Um, look, I'm not. The last thing that I want to do is just sit around and do nothing, right? I know it's not going to be easy. It's going to be a little bit messy at first, but I'm putting myself out there. Like I said, I already have 3 leads. I'm following up with these people. I'm doing some cold outreach today. Like I'm reaching out to people, business owners. I'm actually going to go into a few businesses, and I'm saying this to encourage you guys. And you guys know as well as I do that these times are really uncertain for a lot of people, right? There's a lot of scary things that are going on. So, just be conscious, right? And also try to save as much money as you can. I know it's hard because of the cost of living, but try to stash some money away for a rainy day. Watch your spending, right? Be conscious of how you spend money. Don't go buying things that you don't need. Don't be like the average person. The average person is broke because they buy things that they don't need. I mean, like, and it's not to put anyone down, but right now I don't have a car payment, right? I have 2 cars, right? So we have our family car, it's like our SUV. I paid that off as soon as humanly possible. And that car didn't even cost that much. And then I have my own car, right? So my wife, she drives the SUV. She takes it to work. Um, and then I have my own car. So I have a little Mazda 3, right? It's a 2007 Mazda 3, and I've had it since like, I don't know, like 2012. It's got like 205,000 miles on it. And when I first bought it, I used my income tax money. So I bought it for like, I think it was like 3 grand or something like that. And I don't owe anything, right? It's already, and that car is, I bought it used. And it's still running to this day. I just do like the basic maintenance, right? I do the oil changes, change the rotors, the brake pads, tires, that kind of stuff. Could I buy another car? Possibly, but why? For what? It's not a fancy car. But I'm at peace with that because I'm not making any payments on it, on either one of the cars that I have. I only have 2 cars, like I said. Luckily for me, I work like not even a mile down the road. Um, and I don't even need to drive the car to work, which is awesome, right? I only use the car when I need to use it. But all that is to say, just be careful, right? Be conscious of what you're doing, how you're spending. Save money for a rainy day. Because, like I said, I mean, you just never know, right? You never know. If you're relying on one source of income, if you're relying on a 9 to 5, I think nowadays that's a very dangerous thing to do. And you have to build something for yourself in the background. right? And it's okay if you don't have it figured out right away. But put in the effort to at least try things, to learn different things, see what you can explore, right? The internet is a very good place to start. Just develop the skills, develop the competency. Um, think about, who you want to help, right? One of the first things that I did was I started to look at all the contacts in my phone, and just seeing all the potential people that I could help, right? Business owners that I've been connected to, or people that I know other business owners, right? So, for example, I have my barber. I know I know someone that owns a car dealership. There's chiropractors, massage therapists, people that own landscaping businesses, people that are bookkeepers. Um, there's a lot of different business owners that I didn't realize that I knew. And you'd be surprised if you look down in your list of contacts, you'll be able to come up with a list of at least 10 people or so. And then the next thing I did was I went through my Facebook page, looked at all my followers, all the people that I'm connected to. I wrote a list of contacts from there, and and now I have all these lists of leads, people that I know that I'm connected to that I can reach out to and potentially help them out, or ask them if they know someone that I could help out. Networking events are very powerful, right? You can meet all types of business owners there. All you have to do is go to like meetup.com or just type in, local networking event near me, and a lot of them are free or very low cost to get in. So the best way to gain momentum is to take action and to start putting yourself out there in front of people. And you have to let go of that fear, right? You have to not be afraid to put yourself out there. You can't think worst case scenario. You should just, and I know it's easier said than done, but before you think about the fear, think about the best case scenario, right? Because your mind doesn't really know. Your subconscious mind is kind of just, it's feeding off of uh, your actions and your habits, right? It's believing according to your habits and what you do on a day-to-day basis, and that becomes your reality. That becomes your reality around you. Your future self is going to thank you, right? If you start now, right, no matter how long it takes, because regardless of what we do or what we don't do, time is going to keep going, right? Time does not slow down for no one. So you might as well use that time to start learning something every single day. I don't care if it's an hour a day, 2 hours a day, whatever. Just start building something on the side. Don't sit around. Don't be like the average person, right? I'm here trying to build something for myself, right? And I'm doing it because I care about my future. I care about the future of the people that are around me. I want to be able to provide a better lifestyle for my loved ones. It's not like I'm trying to live in the state of fear, but I'd rather be prepared. I want to be prepared. I want to build something. And not only that, but I just want to live a more fulfilling lifestyle, right? Like, a lot of people are sick of the whole 9 to 5 thing, and there's nothing wrong with having a 9 to 5 job. In fact, I don't, and I see it all the time. I see how these gurus tell you to leave your job, leave your 9 to 5, take the leap of faith. I think that's the worst thing that you can do, especially if you don't have a backup plan. If your side business or whatever that you're working on isn't supporting you financially, or it hasn't come to a point where it can replace your 9 to 5, right? Some people are just kind of, they're just, there's people out there that are taking that leap of faith, and, respect to those people, but just be careful, right? Be careful how you approach this too. You want to take calculated risks. You don't want to just, do something out of emotion, right? You can't make emotional decisions because a lot of times emotional decisions aren't rational. So think about what you're doing, and maybe you have something in mind. Maybe you have an idea. Maybe you have multiple ideas, and you're trying to find the perfect time to start it. But and I always say this, and I've said this in my other videos, there's never going to be a perfect time. And it took me years to realize that. It took me a lot of time, right? I've wasted a lot of energy overthinking and trying to perfect every little thing. And then I finally like realized like, all right, like I'm just wasting time, right? Like I have to start doing something. It doesn't matter how many courses you take online. And those courses can be helpful, right? The books that I'm reading and or whatever books that you're reading, there's a lot of things that can be helpful, but you have to start putting yourself out there. You got to get your hands dirty. That's the only way that you're going to get better, because you get real world feedback and you're able to collect that data, see what works, see what doesn't work, and refine and polish whatever you need to do to make it better. And you start getting better. You get the reps in over time, and then you become a better problem solver. And people, uh, people will start to trust you more. You'll start to get the testimonials, the social proof, and then you'll just start to build yourself over time. Just go out there and do the best that you can, fail forward. Your future self is going to thank you for it. I've gotten a lot of rejections. I've done a lot of cold outreach. I've had a couple maybes, but most of them were not interested, stop messaging me. And that's okay, right? Like, I'm not discouraged. I know that this is part of the process. I'm just going to keep developing myself, keep figuring out ways to provide value, no matter how small it is. If you're continuing to work hard, if you're doing what you need to do, um, even if you're failing, even if you're messing up, you're still failing forward at least, right? It's better than doing nothing. So if you're not seeing any progress, if you don't see anything happening, if you don't see any results, keep going anyway, right? Keep going. It doesn't matter whether you feel like it or not. If you're able to keep going still, then you've just developed a superpower, right? I really like this example that I see sometimes online. I can't remember what it's called, but it's like a graph. And um, at first, it shows like a person who's about to start some kind of venture or gets excited about something new. And they call that the stage of uninformed optimism. So they get excited about something. They have no idea what lies ahead of them, but they're like, man, I can't wait to start working on this business or, whatever journey that they decide to embark on. All excited about it at the beginning. They feel motivated. They feel pumped up. And then, they start to realize that it's a lot harder than what they thought. So they get into the stage of informed pessimism. That's when the doubts start creeping in and they're unsure about themselves. And then they reach the stage of what they call the valley of despair, where just nothing is working. They feel absolutely hopeless. They feel like there's no light at the end of the tunnel. But then they push through it, right? They keep going anyway, and then eventually they start to get into the stage of informed optimism, where they're like, "Oh wow, something is finally happening," and then they eventually succeed. And I think a lot of people give up in that valley of despair, right? The first sign of defeat, or the very first challenge that they have, that's when we're like, this ain't for me. Um, but that's what really defines you as a person, is during those moments where you feel hopeless, where you feel like nothing's working, and you push through anyway. That is what develops your character. That's what eventually is going to get you to success. And it's hard. It's not easy, especially when you don't see anything paying off immediately. But you just have to push through anyway. And just realize that time is going to pass by no matter what we do. But stick with something long enough to see results. And I don't care how many times I fail or I mess up. Now, of course, I got to be realistic about my goals, but um, I'm not going to stop. I'm not going to give up until I can at least say that I've tried everything. And I can't say that. Just remember, when things get tough, when you're in that valley of despair, you have to keep going. That's how a lot of people have been able to find success. And I like what Mike Tyson says. He says, everybody has a plan until they get punched in the face. And you know, I thought that was just Mike being Mike. And but he's 100% right. Like, and I know that he was talking about he was saying that in context of his opponents, right? Like his opponents, you know, when they train, they seem to have like a strategy of how they're going to beat Mike and this and that, but then they end up getting knocked out. And I think it's true. It's true when it comes to life, right? Like we can have a plan in our minds, we can have everything mapped out, but as soon as we face a challenge, then that's when that reality hits. Like, whoa, like this is a lot harder than what I thought. You can have the perfect plan, you can feel like you have everything mapped out, but as soon as you get punched in the face by life, what are you going to do then? Right? And most people, they retreat, they go to their corner, they give up, they throw in the towel. But if you're watching this, I get the feeling that you're not like most people. So just remember, if you get knocked down, just get right back up and keep training, keep practicing, keep doing what you have to do to break whatever chains that you need to break. And that's what I'm trying to do in my own life. You know, I want to defy the odds. I want to break generational curses. And I just want to become a better person. And I'm doing what I can. I know it's not, you know, it's not glamorous, it's not sexy, but I already established in my mind that no matter what happens, I'm going to do what it takes. And I know it's going to take time, but I'm not going to stop until I get there. It's like the jump rope example in my last video. I wanted to learn how to jump rope so bad. I wanted to jump rope like a boxer. I didn't know how, and I just kept practicing, practicing, practicing until eventually I got it. So that's my encouragement. Just build something for yourself, build your legacy. It's like that saying, your future self is looking back at you right now through its memories, through reflections. So make those memories proud memories. Make them worth it. All right. Take care. See you guys in the next one.